Hello all, welcome to the new session of What's New in Tech. Our today's video will be building a website using Chatgpt in just 10 minutes. We have been hearing about Chatgpt a lot. If anyone does not know what Chatgpt is, then I am linking my previous video in the description where I have explained all about Chatgpt in details. In today's video, we will code our own website by actually writing 0 line of codes and just using Chatgpt to code for us. Isn't it amazing? And the surprising part will be that we will be having a full website created and ready to use in just 10 minutes or even less. So now let's get going. I will be creating a weather app that will be taking as an input a city name that will be in a search box, and then in output it will give 10 days weather forecast for that city. So here the front end will just contain a search box where we can input the city name, and the output will be a weather forecast for 10 days for the same city. We will be using React as our front end because it's the most popular framework as of now. So now let's start coding. So we will go into the Chatgpt main blog page. From here you can go to this try Chatgpt. It will take you to a new tab where you have to actually log in as a new user. Since I am already logged in, so I am at the home page of this. One thing you have to remember while using Chatgpt is that you have to be very specific with your request. Like what input you want and what output you want, you have to be very specific with that. So here I will be inputting my query. My query is create a front end with React that contain a text box and integrate it with local backend that calls weather API to get weather forecast of the city entered in front end text box. So if you see, I am very specific. I am telling what input I want and what output I want. So now let's go ahead and see what Chatgpt has in store for us. It's very detailed. It's going step-by-step instruction on what exactly you have to do. Chatgpt is all done. Now let's see how fast we can copy it and use it. Let's go from step to step what it's asking us. So here it's saying first step is setting up the backend. First you need to set up a local backend server that will handle the API calls. Right, like you have to set up a backend and then we will go to front end. So it's saying install node.js. I went ahead. So here, if you go in here, if you see, if you don't already have Node.js installed, you can download it from official website. So that's where we went. And here if you will see, we will have different versions. I have a macOS, so I'll just go ahead and install it. It's all done. So we are done with the first step. Next is create a new project. So I'll go into my Visual Studio Code. So here my folder is already opened, and open the terminal also. Increase it so that it's easier for you. npm init. So package name Chatgpt. Let me put weather app. It can't contain, very good. Weather app. Version, description, entry point. I'm just putting nothing in that. You can go ahead and put all of your information in here. So it's already created. Yes. So it's done. Now the next step it's asking me to do is install the necessary dependency. I'll just copy it. Install it. Now this will take some time depending on your internet speeds. So it's done. Next it's asking me create a new file called server.js and copy this code. So I'll just go into this. So yeah, I'll open a new file, paste my code, save it here as server.js. So now we have a server.js file. Now let's go ahead. What's the next step? In here, so let me go ahead and just read it out what it's exactly doing here. So here, once we install all the necessary dependency, it's asking me to create a server file, and in this file it's creating an endpoint /weather where you can hit and get the weather result. that will take a city parameter here and will return a JSON here, the data basically. So here one interesting thing is this API key. So here what it's saying, replace your API key with your Open Weather Map API key. So we don't know how to do that, and we will ask ChatGPT the same question. We will circle back to it once we have the setup running. So we are done with this. Now it's saying create the React front end. We need to install this. We have to run this command. The MacBook user, you need to add a sudo here. So it's creating that. If you see, it's the weather app is getting created. So we installed it. Now the next step is, it's saying change into your weather app directly and install the following dependencies. So I'll just go in here. So it's also done. Now let us go. Saying open the source app.js and replace the following content. So I'll go into this app.js. In this I can copy directly the whole thing. So I'll just go in here. Oh, I think we missed on. So let me just close it. I think we missed on this one. And close it. I think curly. So it's all saved. Let me see. So if you see, now it's looking fine. I'll just go in here. Oh, you have the city entered. So if I try to enter anything, it will not work because we are still missing that API key. But let's try something. Let's try Delhi. See, we are failing here. Now why we are failing, we'll go back and have a look. But if you see, our app is all ready. It's trying to call the backend API. So now let's go here. If we go back to this step, replace your API key with Open Weather Map API. So now let me ask this question to ChatGPT. So here it's giving us the step-by-step information. So we can go through step by step and see what it's asking. So it's telling us to go to Open Weather Map and create an account if you don't have already. So I went in here. I already have an account, but you can go ahead and create your own account in here. After that, it's saying once you're logged in, go to API key sections. My API keys. There's no API keys. Let's go ahead and generate one. I can put a name. Testing ChatGPT. I'll generate one. It's created. I'll copy the key. Once your API key has generated, it will be displayed. Be sure to copy it. And then this is our API key, the ones we copied, and then we have to just use it in our code. So key ID, I'll just go ahead and put the key ID. Click on it. Let's try it now. I can enter this, press enter. If I check the network call, this is the call that's going and this is the result we are getting. Of course, since we did not ask the ChatGPT to show it us in a UI form, it did not show us. But of course, we could have added that part. But if you see, one thing you have to keep in mind while you are generating a key is that once you generate that key, API key in this OpenAI, you have to wait at least 3 to 4 hours so that key gets activated, else it will not work. So if I go in here, I have this terminal where my NPM is working, the front end, and I have this back end one. So if you remember, we used this server.js, we created this, and to run this, I'll come to this ChatGPT project and then node server. So now our backend is ready. In the other terminal, our front end is ready. So that's how from our front end, I'm able to call it up. Let me add something else. I can get the results in here. This is the weather, this is the wind speed, the country, sunrise, sunset, all of the time. Now if you want to try for 10 days, you can change the parameters in here to add that also, depending on, you can go into this documentation and get all of that. But the main aim of tutorial was to show you how you can create a website in just 10 to 15 minutes without doing anything and just copying everything from ChatGPT. If you saw here, we did find some small hiccups where some of the forms were not completed by ChatGPT. But all in all, I am completely satisfied with the quality of code that I am getting from ChatGPT. So now going back to our presentation, your next question could be how we can use ChatGPT, like the real usage of ChatGPT. I have been using it as a substitute to Stack Overflow. Then I have been using it for creating WordPress plugins. The other uses, like you can create backend APIs and monetize it using Rapid APIs and all of those web applications or forum. I can post the link of Rapid API also in case you want to create a backend API using ChatGPT and monetize it. That's it for today. Do comment in the video section if you want to learn more usage of ChatGPTs or you want me to cover some other use case scenarios for you. I hope you will be trying this way of creating a full stack application and see it for yourself how much of an improvement it is, comparing it how we used to do it earlier, where we have to create everything ourselves by reading documentation and everything. So that's it for today. I'll meet you again in the next session of What's New in Tech. Thank you.